This episode is brought to you by Sortly. If you're growing your interior design business, then you know tracking inventory across projects, warehouses, and team members can slow you down. That's where Sortly comes in.
Sortly helps you manage furniture, decor, and materials effortlessly from any device, anywhere. Simplify your installs with barcode scanning and real-time updates, making it easy to export details for client proposals.
Sortly is the mobile inventory solution that your team will actually use, so you can stop losing time and money on messy spreadsheets and outdated systems.
Hot Young Designers Club listeners get 50% off their first year, plus a free 14-day trial. Sign up today at sortly.com/HYDC.
That's sortly.com/HYDC.
What's up, y'all?
Hey. I'm awake. I'm alive. I'm back from vacation. Just re-entering.
Yes, I'm gonna go to Joshua Tree in a couple weeks. That'll be nice.
That'll be good. Yeah.
It's gonna be hot.
Yeah, well. Is there a water feature?
There's a pool at the house that we're gonna stay at, yeah. And then a couple friends and I, we're all gonna go. And what else? It's summer.
I know. It's like so hard. I feel like I'm just really struggling with this. I feel like I said this the last time, but I mean, I have a lot of help and it's still hard. Like just getting the
childcare, the transit, all that.
The mental, like I think my body and brain just really wants to slow down. And I mean, it was great. I was but kind of can because I don't have enough like if I have momentum of appointments, like it keeps me moving. But when I'm kind of like left to my own scheduling devices, it's harder.
I agree with that.
This is why it's like feast or famine all the time because I get burnt out and then stop and, And
you need to restart. It's all like, it's self-regulating too. Like you're trying to prevent the overwhelm and prevent as much of the stress. So you build your boundaries and then you're like, wait, I went too far. Now I gotta.
Yeah, I just need to be like in third gear, like just cruising altitude without so much trauma.
Have you ever, I feel like my grandma used to drive this way. I'm not calling you my grandma, but she used to do the push the pedal, let the car pick up speed. Then she would take her foot off of it and it would like coast and almost like start stopping again. And then she would push the pedal again. And so it was always like, vroom, vroom. Like I hated it, but that's like that energy of like, put on the gas. Okay, no, take your foot off. Put on the gas. Now take your foot off.
Slam the brake. Yeah, that's like how I feel like it is. Yeah, and then I was in Cancun all week. Like we're literally, it's like, what pool do we go to and what am I going to drink at 10 a.m.? Like, it's just no decisions were really having to be made, and it's hard to get out of it. Like I
hear that.
Click back. I will.
I feel that you'll be back.
Today.
Yeah, it's not today. It's summer mode. You're not the only one. I've talked to so many designers who are just like juggling a million things right now. We're in that lurch right when school finished. So, yeah, I'm just like quick updates, working on cleaning up my house, getting it organized, getting it ready for sale. So if the hotties are looking for an update on what's happening there, go back to some past episodes. But that's happening over here at my place. Just like organizing, trash, donate, sell.
A little purge action, which I'm sure feels like cathartic, but also like overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. There's just so much to think about. But for anybody who's ever thought about this, like 100% clean all your baseboards, touch up all the paint, all the corners where your dog rubs against stuff when they walk around your house, like getting rid of all those little small things, it really does change your house again.
Because like those you realize how gross it is that you're ignoring it.
That and for me, what's weird is I always have this concept of like visual quiet, where if I look at the corner of a wall where my dog rubbed against it constantly and then I clean that off, my eye doesn't keep going to that spot anymore because there's not this little dirt mark from my dog. Like it's just the paint. So there's nothing to distract my eye or catch my eye and that's a bad thing you want your eye to catch on instead of like pretty art. So
Right.
I've just been using my jewelry and accessories of my home to distract from like some of those things. And it has been nice to see as we're like getting ready to sell the home and finalize the divorce, do all that, like as we lead to that, it is different to see the house in a different way. And it reminds me of like what we do for our clients is we get rid of all that little stuff and it like creates quiet and it's clean.
Yeah, because like I always tell people, if you just update all your light switches, if you have like gross mismatched like super old stuff, like it makes your house instantly look better, and it's stuff that you just don't notice and you get used to. But then when it's new, you're like, oh, or like better baseboards and like all those little things that people don't really think about updating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even just the other, like any little gaps or cracks. Like there's a spot on our baseboards where the corner has expanded and contracted. It's an old house. It's expanded and contracted, and there's like a gap. So filling that and getting it painted again, that little shadow line disappeared. So now it's just a clean baseboard again. And you're like, yeah, that little stuff was adding up little by little. Yeah. So putting it back together really does make a difference. Not that I had a forced motivator to help get some of this stuff done, but I would never have done that probably without a push. But if you're looking for a push, y'all, here you go.
Yeah, my house feels really tired to me right now, and I know it's that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I'm not doing that this summer, but I should.
Or just like a day with a handyman and be like, come to my house.
Yeah.
I'll be here all day, but you're going to be like touching up corners, brushing stuff, spackling and filling like all day kind of vibe.
Yeah. The problem is like, I don't want to do that in the current paint I have. So it's like, just becomes the slippery slope of like, oh, I want to rethink my hallway to the bedrooms. Like, I don't want it just to be white bullshit anymore. So then it becomes a project, like, you know me.
What else is going on?
What else? Oh, we were going to read a little review.
Yeah, we got a review in shop for our interior design client questionnaire, and we get other reviews, but it's like this one was recent. So, okay, this is what it says. Obsessed with this resource. This has been a game changer for my onboarding process, and it's so much more elevated and legit. I feel like it shows my clients I really care and I want to learn about them. This resource is so comprehensive and it has everything you need. Easy to add to and take away what you don't need for each new project. Love it. That's from Holly. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks, Holly. Yeah, so that is the client questionnaire that we made, this like pretty comprehensive questionnaire for general projects, kitchens, and bathrooms, and it's broken out in sections. So if you don't have a bathroom on that project, you make a copy and can just delete the whole bathroom section.
Yeah, and it's I feel like we've done a good job of like we front loaded a lot of questions. So there's like over 100 questions broken down by section of lifestyle, entertaining, all of that stuff is in that questionnaire on our shop at shop.hotyoungdesignersclub.com or go to hotyoungdesignersclub.com and just click shop. But it's got extra that you can grow into, or if you don't need them, cut it down depending on your project. But I had talked with a different designer about this who didn't write this review, but she said that she collects this as part of her onboarding, and she has a senior designer who this is kind of like their brief, essentially, is they keep referring back to this stuff that was like collected if they can't remember something, a detail about one of the kids in the house. So it's kind of a nice place to get a lot of
like
info.
A profile.
Yeah. And then you at least had a way to collect that without it feeling like you were bombarding the client with a million questions.
Yeah, and it's also at the end has like a reminder of like your working hours and just some of the little housekeeping stuff that you also might not want to be constantly bombarding them with, but
yes,
it's a nice little gentle reminder.
Agree. Yeah, so that was fun to see that.
Yeah. Okay, well, this episode we I don't know. It was kind of one of those episodes where we were like, can we talk about this for an hour? It turned out we could have talked about it for 3 hours.
Oh my God. Welcome to my masterclass where I'm not the master of anything.
And I feel like it's one of those topics that designers do always want to know. It's like designer porn. Like, can I see your materials sample library?
Yeah.
That's like every designer wants to see it. And I think it's pretty hard to make it look glamorous and beautiful. You have to have like somebody managing it for you. But just to be able to get your hands on what you need when you need it, that's the big takeaway.
Hard agree. We put down a lot. We mentioned in the episode there is a blog post. We'll share the deets. You can get to it on our website, where we talk more about the resources. The show notes from this episode are totally jammed. Like there are a lot.
Links.
There are a billion things in there. So if anything we mentioned, it's probably in the show notes and or the blog post. There is some overlap, but there's a lot. So for all of you who are note takers, if you need visuals, the blog post is good for that. We've got some stuff tucked away there, but it's a good episode. And hopefully you get some energy to like organize your samples and stuff.
It would. I mean, summer is kind of that energy of like, let's clean this shit out.
Yeah. Like I'm doing it for my house. I'm like, now I got to get rid of stuff at my office. Goals. Anyway, y'all.
Okay. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young,
but we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
Oh, we're just happy to be here on this summer day.
It's a beautiful life, y'all. Natasha Bedingfield plays in the background.
Is it? Yeah, I'm struggling getting into this whole summer mode. I really didn't really plan for it.
It's funny because it really this is the first one we've had and it really snuck up on us.
I know. It really does. Okay, you should put it on the calendar or something. Okay, so this episode, I brought this samples and like material libraries. This has come up a lot recently. I mean, I always see it, but I've seen it in Instagram a few times and some Facebook posts of people like looking for ways to kind of build their material library and their samples.
And in our even in the Hot Young Designers Club Facebook group, people
that's where it started.
With our Patreon numbers in it.
Like, how do you get samples?
Well, I think it was one about hardware. It was like, what are we all doing for hardware, or how do I get that? Like, I'm gonna make it up.
Yeah, so this will have some like crossover with like getting accounts, I guess, but really, but then there's always questions of how people organize their sample library, which this will be a little trickier since we're using words, not pictures. But I think we could talk it through because there's honestly, spoiler alert, there's no great way. It's a constant battle.
My future self might not like me, but I will commit to getting all of the stuff we talk about linked in show notes, and maybe hold on, I'm going to commit because not maybe it's going to get linked in a blog post.
Okay, maybe we'll put it in our Amazon storefront and then link it into a blog post so it stays somewhere.
Yeah, there will be something when this comes out, hotties. You will be. I promise you, you will be able to go to the blog, and I will have some details about materials libraries organization.
Okay, so there's a couple things. I have a warehouse that I can use as my materials library. I share it with a few other designers, as you guys probably know. Happy Hour Design Collective. We have like a design collective. So I definitely, and part of it is because I love wanting to see all the things. So we built this so we didn't have to have like a super limited selection.
I think of a lot of the designers who use it are like the magpie of materials.
Yes. Like there's not a lot of materials that I would throw away because I never know if I might use it.
But you know that's a hoarder mentality, right? Like, you know, that's exactly what they say on hoarders. Like, I can't throw it away. You never know if I'll need it. Like,
But then I do.
Maybe. I mean, what's the percent of all the samples? How many of them did you end up needing? Is the there's still a lot left behind.
Well, I guess to add to that, I would never want to use the same thing twice. So that's a different mindset than I think other designers might have. Like,
unless it was like this is my favorite neutral linen that I use for the people who need like
or
a
white
beige
paint,
Roman shade or something.
Yes. Unless it's specifically like something that's very like neutral.
But like
background.
The color, like a plum color you use on one project, you're not going to use that same one again in another project.
I've done it, but it makes me feel weird. And like a wallpaper, like I would never want to repeat unless it's in a different colorway. Mm-hmm. So that's partly where my brain comes from. I know a lot of designers tend to like work in a certain palette that they love, whatever it is, and they like to have like a curated selection. It probably makes things a lot easier.
Yeah. No, designing is easier if you are always in, like, even if it wasn't new, like, just say it wasn't like the beige palette.
Yeah, I'm not saying
pick any color. If you said, I only design with green, your life is going to be real easy. Like, you just are
your
like,
portfolio might be a little flat, but
it might be. But that's what I'm saying. Like, neutral just is one of those that, oh, wait, hold on. That was not meant to be shady, but it was that neutrals can also fall flat. Like, we see a lot of that online, and I'm like, some people want that. They need the piece that provides, or they like that.
A lot of people do.
I think most people do. I think a lot of people don't actually know what they like, so it's easiest for them to pick that.
It's also what is being fed as like the luxurious option.
Yeah, and if you were sold a luxurious option was colorful and dynamic and modern or sculptural, then it would be like, it would be in the zeitgeist.
It's starting to happen. But when you look at like quiet luxury, or I was reading an article about designers are starting to design more like private jets, and they all look the same.
They do.
And it's
the yachts, they all look the same.
Yeah, they're like boring. No one has like a maximalist private jet. Like that would be so rad.
Actually, yeah, it would be.
That would be a flex. Like if you really went for it with color and texture.
Like if you did like,
doesn't have to be like a rainbow, but just
who would we say is like maximalist? Like I'm trying to picture who's someone that we would all, like a lot of hotties would think of, and like
billionaire style.
No, like a designer.
Oh,
like whose style
like
would we
Iris
put on a private jet? So, but is it Iris Apfel's jet, or are we doing it with her style on someone else's jet?
Either. I mean, she kind of.
Because
I don't know if she designed for other people, right?
Maybe. I'm trying to see. I guess where I'm going is, who's a designer that's like a maximalist that you're like, this person should do a private jet?
Maximalist.
Like at first I was thinking Jonathan Adler, but I kind of wanted someone.
Even Kelly Wearstler. Like Kelly Wearstler could kill a private jet because it would be luxury. I mean, if they could get all that marble off the ground, but
no, it would. See, and you know what? That's the unique challenge of it is how do you do it without that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that would be amazing, right?
Wait, yeah. Like, okay, wait. Maximalist private jet. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we should probably get back to.
Yeah. So, you need a lot of samples for that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I have a lot of things. So we'll just talk about the basics and kind of what you should try to do, especially if you're just starting out. I mean, this is probably mostly if you're just starting out, or if you're getting your own space and you've been working from your home office or something.
Which that's where I started too, like overflowing my garage and all this other stuff. Like just,
Same. I mean, I took over our formal living room during the pandemic and had shit everywhere, but I wasn't investing really in sampling, which was actually like a big hindrance. I feel like I didn't really grow my projects until I could get my hands on stuff.
I feel the same.
And I'm in an area that has no showrooms. Like we don't have fabric libraries, or there's one company that has like a lot of fabrics that they, I don't know, sell to designers, but
like
a multi-line. Yeah, but we don't have like a design center or anything.
Yeah, there's no like design quarter or something. Okay. So I am fortunate to have that at the Pacific Design Center in West Hollywood. But
That's
even
a
leaving from where
day.
I live, it's still a day. It's a day trip when you go because it's an hour to an hour and a half there, and that's only like depending on where I'm leaving from, 8 to 13 miles from my house. It's really stupid, but it takes that long to get there. And then you're there, and you're not going for just one fabric showroom. If you're going to make the trip, you're usually hitting a couple multi-lines like Schumacher and Fabricut's in there, and like the big hitters are in there, but it's worth a trip. And even if you just like don't have that in your town, at High Point and Vegas Market, they have their normal like fabric and design and textile showrooms that are part of those areas they are full all year round. So you could see what it's like if you don't have one near you if you were to go on a trip to market.
Yeah. And the same, we could drive to San Francisco, but it's a day. And
it sure is.
And it's like, I don't know. I don't typically have 5 projects I'm pulling for at the same time. So that would just be a lot for like one,
It's a lot for one
thing.
go. But it would be if you were like, if you could get into what do they call it? Like flow state, I guess, with design. If you were at a design center, you could probably get a lot of that pulled together if you hit your flow state, you had a clear vision in mind. But if you're going for inspo, it is nice to have some stuff to kick things off at your studio in front of you. What do you need to get your accounts?
Okay, so let's just start like fabric. So I wasn't sure about fabric and how to get accounts when I started. And I had, like, this is kind of how Happy Hour started, is I had a lunch and learn with a couple vendors and they came to us. So I had multiple designers come and they presented like us what their lines were like. And that's how I learned about the different lines. So the big companies or the big distributors like Pindler, Fabricut, Schumacher, Kravet, you can just get an account. Like,
yeah,
I don't think any of those have any type of restrictions. The other one I really
like
your
certificate. You need your reseller.
I just mean you don't have to have minimum. You don't have to have a minimum order or like hit a certain volume. You might get deeper discounts if you sell more, but
right,
you pretty much get 50% off on the get-go. Yeah, you need a resale certificate. You need a business license and usually a website they look at.
Yeah.
They ask for
But the barrier to entry is very low. I would just say it's not a zero barrier, but I do think that's just part of like, yeah, we're doing right by the industry. So if you haven't like formally established your business, it's going to be a little more challenging just because they want to track who they're giving samples to and what they're sending out. But
even if you want to just go buy from a showroom. So again, backing up, if you don't want to deal with any of this, you could just go to a local showroom or multi-line place in your area and they will do it all for you, like house anything. So if it's convenient to you and you can go and spend an afternoon pulling fabrics, you can buy them all through them. But you still need a resale certificate.
Yeah, they're not. And I feel like a lot of them won't give out the free samples without a designer to reference. Like they need an
account. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of like people are generous too. Like sometimes they're not worried if they're like, you're here, but that's
you won't
just
be able to buy anything.
Yeah. You'll still end up at the same place if you show materials to clients, but then you can't buy them.
Or you're buying at retail. Like, what's the point? So
yeah.
Step 1, if you're trying to run a design business, like you definitely need that. So yeah, all of those accounts. I also really like Anna Elizabeth / Greenhouse Fabrics. I don't know why they have 2 names.
I don't know them.
They have almost all the Krypton lines. They have really great. Yeah, they have really great selection of especially like performance fabrics in colors and patterns. And they will so some have book programs where they actually like provide you with the books of like all the different collections.
Yeah.
Some don't. Like Schumacher does not have a book program. Fabricut does, but it's like hard to get them for some reason, at least in our area. Like someone has to basically die for you to be able to get the allocation of our reps books. Like literally.
Like it's willed to other people? Like it's willed to another designer in their passing?
Yeah, like there's only they only get like 20 books of each whatever season, and only if you're not in the list, you don't really get them. I had a rep recently drop us off some books. Just like, I don't know if this is weird, but somebody did pass. Like, here's their books they don't need.
I hate that.
So
I also don't normally like a lot of the stuff that's in the books. So give or take on that. Like for me, now that I have room, I have some books where there's like some good heavy hitters in them, but I'm not pulling. Like, it's not enough for me to justify getting whole books from whole lines and collections and whatever.
I think books are great, especially for like solids, like a velvet.
I have a sheer one.
Or
I have like a performance linen one.
Yes, like those solids that you want to see every colorway sometimes, and it's a little bit harder to organize them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, I love this fabric. What other colors does it come in? Then that's when the books are really handy. But yeah, they take up more room. But Pindler has they're very helpful. Like my Pindler rep, she will bring us anything all the time. She was just here and cleared out our discontinued books. And they do have books that they can give. At least ours does. And then I just got they will come and do, once you're on the reps, like little rotation, they're constantly asking, like, hey, I'm here next week. Can I come in? Because like ours are a lot in the Bay Area. They only come here like quarterly.
They're like making a trip for you guys, like to
plan. Or they do like a circuit.
Region.
Yeah. So they'll present the new collections and what's happening and what's new, which is fun. And they're, servicing you. So then I feel like, okay, now they're servicing me and I'm not just like begging for scraps anymore.
Please, sir, can I have a sample?
Like literally.
Please, sir, I'd like a 5x5 piece of fabric for my body, please.
And those are free. So like I don't think I've ever paid for a fabric.
Hold on. I'm thinking of when Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter and the master has given Dobby a sock, or whatever. Like, can I please have a free sample? No, I'm a real designer.
Actually, though, it does feel like that.
Dobby's free. You're now a designer. You got samples.
And you can get them when you need them.
Oh my God. Sorry. Okay.
So I feel like fabric they're pretty easy with their wares. They hand them out. They ship pretty fast. All of those that I talked about, I usually get those samples within a week. Yes, I have 1 million. And then I always am looking on the website and ordering more when I have a specific project need.
Mm-hmm.
So, but sometimes it's helpful just to have one of the colorways. And then you're like, oh, I like this stripe, but does it come in other colors? Because I need it to be more rusty. And then you can order those. So yeah, once you have accounts, you can just order them. You can order memos at any time. You don't have to return them. I think Pindler always gives me a return packet, but
no, Pindler does. They're weird about that at mine too. They're like, they need to come back or we're going to charge
showroom.
You. And I'm
okay, yeah.
Are you guys freaking for real here? Come on. You guys are come on. You're a huge company.
I've never gotten charged. That is a good.
Me neither. Great. Now they're going to backcharge us. They're going to listen and backcharge us. Let me look up.
That is a good reminder. Some of those companies that do have showrooms, main anchor showroom flagships, like ours, Fabricut, now Schumacher and Pindler are in our San Francisco design center. Yeah. And so when I ask my rep, hey, this fabric I liked is discontinued. Can you find me something similar? She'll actually ping the San Francisco showroom and I'll get a packet directly from the showroom. And when those come, and those are fast, they come the next day.
Yeah.
And those are a human servicing us, an extension of the rep, which is nice. And sometimes they want those back. Or if you order from the website, it comes from their central distribution. And it's a little more just...
Yeah, it's Midwest or somewhere it ships
e-commerce style, yeah.
Yeah.
Schumacher's the same thing. So it is nice. You can get their help, if you're looking for certain stuff, which is nice. Yeah, and then when you're ready to order, you get it. Usually it's 50% off depending on the account.
Yeah, most fabrics are if your price per yard is, $50, then the MSRP is double that. Like,
Yeah.
that's an easy number for a lot of people. Doesn't mean you have to sell it at that, but that's a whole different episode. Oh, wait. I know what designers might not know. If you haven't visited a showroom before, most designer showrooms where there's a lot of fabrics will have like a small little notepad. It's usually at the desk, or they have a counter where you turn it in, or someone you hand it to in the library that's going to go get your samples, but you like write all your ones down as you go through the showroom. Usually put your business name on it so they can find your account and see what you checked out. And then they like prep a bag. Some of them you can like leave it and go to another showroom and they'll have your bag ready when you come back. So it's kind of an efficient way to plan your
The
visit.
library.
Like, yeah, like, okay, while their library is pulling all of this, I can line up all of these.
Yeah.
Go hit 3 or 4 showrooms or hit the same floor. And then as we get ready to leave that floor or that area, just grab them all. Or if it's a small space, you're not really waiting that long anyway.
Yeah. So if you don't know where to start, obviously go on their website, sign up for an account. Usually they'll either just say, here's your login, bye, or a rep will reach out to you. This is pretty much for every account.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or ask another designer for the local rep, because we all have to use the same one because they service an area usually.
Yes.
So wallpaper, some of these companies are fabric and wallpaper, so the same kind of idea would apply. But for the most part, it's very similar to fabric. Very easy to get, very easy to open an account, typically 50%.
Yeah.
For larger companies.
Like the larger manufacturers. Yeah, I just find like samples on them. For wallpaper, I have some. Ooh, should I talk about how we store these as we're doing them? Maybe a little bit. Okay, let's go back to fabric. But like my wallpapers, I use like a magazine holder or like it's, you know what it is? It's like you have like the little drop-in file folders like for a filing cabinet. Yeah. But they're not like the legal size long ones. They're like a letter size 8.5 by 11 kind of drop-in folder. But they're in like a plastic. It looks like a little binder, fits on a shelf, but it's just open plastic, and you drop the files in, and then I organize them by certain themes, like neutrals or blues, and then the wallpapers.
Are these the Bright Room ones? Did I tell you which ones we use?
I don't know. I don't know what Bright Room is.
Ours are like clear acrylic from Target. Ours are like a box. It is a similar, like you would drop a file in, but they're like almost like 10 by 10.
Is it a magazine holder?
No.
Mine is like a slim file box kind of thing.
Okay.
So but I drop them in those I have the little like drop-in filing cabinet things, and I keep them grouped by certain themes. So then I can line them up on a shelf. But the boxes are all on the edge. I have a little label on them, what color or what theme is in that section, so I can pull them out and then pull out the individual files. And it keeps them from like curling too much. It keeps them from like rolling. The paper doesn't get like exposed to sunlight that way, because I want the colors to stay realistic, like as long as possible and clean.
We basically do the same thing, except ours are in bigger boxes. So we found these perfect. They're from Target, from their Bright Room organization collection. They're clear acrylic. And we had to get plastic dividers to go inside of it because they will start curling if it's not like packed.
If it's not full, yeah.
But that works really well. And then we can also like add more categories. So same. And I guess it just depends on how many you want to get. Because wallpaper can get out of control.
Oh my God. Yeah, because you want all of them to feel unique and cool and inspire you. I have some that I'm dreaming of. I get stuff I'm dreaming of. That's that's the fun part, is I have no purpose for it, but I have room for it now in my studio. And so I'm going to hold on to it, even if it just inspires some future creativity. I like it. I like having the pretty stuff.
So like standard wallpaper companies that are pretty easy to work with would be Schumacher, Philip Jeffries, if you do like commercial stuff, or if you ever need vinyl stuff, Philip Jeffries has all of that. But they also have a ton of grass clots and natural things.
Yeah, they do.
York actually has a book program that we have, and I think it's $50 a month, and we get a book every 2 months. That's a little bit unwieldy. Those books are like, your mom's giant wallpaper books. that if you remember, I don't know. I remember going and looking at wallpaper books with my
They're
mom.
huge. Yeah.
And it's fun and you see all the colorways and stuff. The benefit of doing that through York is you also get, I think we get better pricing too.
Because you're using
part of the
books.
Program. It's like
I
a
see what you're
program we're in.
But
you'd also could have an account without doing the program.
You like a regular designer account without the books.
Yeah, you just do samples and
I don't have any wallpaper books at my studio.
They're rough to store. I'm not gonna lie.
They're big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
and
big.
Heavy.
And then I subdivided too, so I have even less. I have way less space than I used to. So I didn't want them before either.
And Philip Jeffries, they give books too, but theirs is different. Theirs are like more binder sized, and they're kind of, I don't know, they're kind of interesting. They're like brochures almost, where they have like, and you get like 100 of these little folder brochures that have like little tiny swatches in them. So you see every color of grass cloth in this certain style.
Okay.
And then you can
order. I have
a
couple fan decks like that.
Oh.
I have a Schumacher fan deck of all, it's like, here's the whatever sisal, and it's all these colors. Here's the whatever, and it just goes through all of them. That's a helpful one. It's just all grass cloths. So that's kind of nice. Like,
oh, I don't have that. That would be nice.
You should. Okay,
like a paint deck.
Everybody, flood your reps with requests right now.
Yeah, because the Philip Jeffries ones, you have to kind of open them all and go through them. But then they're also very easy to get actual like 5x7. Like they have these little samples that they do, like memos. So
yes, yeah, that's true.
And then there's tons of independent artists and smaller makers that do really amazing wallpapers.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get an account with Supply Showroom. They're out of Texas, and they curate
some gorgeous stuff. Yes,
yeah, they curate a ton of wallpapers from artists all around the world. So, and you can buy them through them and get samples. They have like a limit on how many they'll send you at a time, but it's still great and helpful, and they help you place the orders if you need to.
I know. I really like. Honestly, it's so weird. Like I haven't been to Austin. I would honestly spend like I'd be, if I go to Austin, part of it would be I just want to go in and look around at all your pretty stuff. Like I just want to see it all and look around what they have. So shout out Supply Showroom.
And Pattern Collective is another one. I don't know that I have a account with them, but my client bought from them, and they're similar.
Was really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
House of Hackney, you can get samples really easily and set up an account. It's a little bit.
I feel like once you get whatever the rep in contact and you get things started too, there's more options.
Yeah, I would recommend trying to find a rep because it is a little bit of a different process, like how their wallpaper works.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to fabric storage?
Yeah,
bane of my existence.
I hate it, but you know those things from like Uline, and they're kind of like for hardware type of stuff.
I think we might use the same thing. They're like bins.
Yeah, like little bins. They stack. You can put dividers in them. Like
they sell dividers.
Yeah, it's almost like, oh God, what do we want to describe? You remember when you'd go to the library with like Dewey Decimal and you'd have to go through the cards? It's that, but with fabric.
That's how I think we get the same thing. And they're like very deep. So mine are like 8 inches wide, and they're probably 15 inches deep.
They go back into the shelf. You can get shallow ones for shallow shelves or deeper ones. So it just goes long.
So you can pull it out. So we've been working on converting over to those. Like when we first started, we had like those reed woven baskets that I hated. They like things got caught on them. Like, I don't know. We were trying to be cute or something, but
I know. And
they were not productive.
They start to like the baskets do start to get like fibery and disintegrate as you're like pulling them in and out of shelves. And then you have the little like,
and they're like
banana
wide,
things,
but not deep. Like,
or they snag on fabrics too.
Yeah.
I recommend stuff that has stuff that won't snag fabrics or like pull on them or yank them. Like if the bins are smooth, like that's why I picked the plastic ones, because I don't want them yanking on stuff and I want it to be kind of uniform. And baskets are pretty, but not like as functional.
I don't care about pretty, because like when I'm going through those, I know what I'm looking for usually, and I just need to like creepy crawl through it really quickly.
Did I tell you about Jenny McDonald's studio? When she had her second Lulu and Georgia collection, and she had these cabinets made, but basically she created organizers like that inside the drawers. So but it was a very customized solution for her office, but it allows her to like, she can look into the drawer and there's like layers of them, but they're stacked backwards like what we're describing. So you start from front to back, and I think she did them by like, I think the logic was color, but it could if it depends. If you want it by pattern, do them by patterns. If you want to keep your patterns in your solids, you want stripes, like I guess it just depends on how you pull for your library too.
Yeah. Okay, so
we'll link the bins.
You also have to fold everything. That's the hardest part, especially when you have multiple people using your library, is I want them folded so the fold is on top so I can see the top. It's like the spine of the book is facing up, you know? And you're not like going through like splayed out fabrics.
I know what you're describing is, if you take a piece of paper and fold it in four, like fold it in half, then fold it in half again, like the opposite direction, you just end up with these weird flappy foldy pieces sticking out when you're flipping through the bin. So it's best if the fold stays on the top. Yeah.
And that's like the biggest challenge is every fabric company swatches a completely unique size. Some are like postage stamp, some are like 12 by 15. Yeah, it's really
annoying. The same logic of like business cards when people started making weird shaped business cards all of a sudden. And I'm like, I understand. It's cool. It stands out. I paid attention to it. I'm also annoyed by it every time I'm trying to put something away. And fabrics are the same problem. Is like, why is your fabric a 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch square?
Yeah.
And then then I have one that comes in, it's freaking, might as well be freaking legal size, 8.5 by 14.
Yeah.
So I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm not trying to roll up a pashmina in my sample library. Jesus Christ. Like,
so we try to fold them by the width of the bin and then just make the best of it and stick them all in. So you can I just need to like quickly be able to go through them. And we have a ton. I mean, we have probably like 25 of those things.
Yeah.
But you just brought up something. Oh, by how do we organize? So we just recently switched this. We used to organize by vendor.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The thinking with that is there's a little bit of a price point consideration that we could quickly navigate. But
like if you're pulling from Fabricut versus like S. Harris.
Or Trend versus S. Harris or even Schumacher, even though there's a big range within Schumacher, but
I'm with you.
Which was nice, but it ended up just being too cumbersome. Like, okay, I'm looking for red in like 20 places. So now we do them all by color, and some are subcolors, like blue pattern, blue stripe.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's so many blue stripes.
I had to split my blues and my greens because those are neutrals to me. I work with those a lot. And so I keep those like solid pattern stripe.
Yeah, or like we have blue green now. It's just once you get enough, like, and it makes sense to break them out, you can whatever helps your brain.
You know what's fun about doing this by color though is it does show me where I lean, what I am attracted to the most. So it helps me start to see what I'm attracted to, but it also challenges me when I'm like, you know what? I don't have any like
yellow,
red or rust, or like it helps me identify when I go and I'm like, oh, how sad. So it does help me seeing my library realize, oh, I've been trying to get this, but I don't have anything. I need to, when I go to the showrooms now, I'm going to look for mustard or I'm going to look for whatever. Do you do this? I keep a little, it's not a clipboard, but it's just like basically a notepad in my materials area, like just to write stuff down that I was looking for that I didn't have, or I can like ask reps about. And whenever reps reach out, sometimes I'll email them like, hey, this is stuff that's on my list. Do you have any like linen neutrals that are very like net? I was looking for one that was kind of net-like, almost like fishnet. Like fishnet, like a hosiery kind of, but more like linen fiber.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And And but that was like easy because I wrote it down on the list. And then so when my Kravet rep reached out, I was like, hey, I don't know if this exists, but send me a couple of things that look like this is a vibe I'm trying to collect on. And I think I sent like a photo, and then I just said, this is what I'm looking. I described it. And then she like, yeah, they mailed me like 5 options that were kind of like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's fun to like identify the stuff that I'm like, oh shit, I don't have anything in the like purple bin. I like purple. Like I should find some purples I enjoy. Let me fill that in. Like,
that's when I tend to go into the sites and order a shit ton
I just
more
like
samples.
organize by color. Like,
yeah. I'm usually looking for something for specifically for a project when I'm doing that. So I am just trying to get everything in. But
I feel you. Hey, hotties, we have way more for you over on the Hot Young Designers Club blog.
it's kind of like having an internet home base that we've been wanting to start.
Yeah, we're over there doing designer features, sharing industry news, and some business updates.
We've always wanted to be able to share our inspirations, so we needed a long-form place to do it, and now we have it.
You got it. So head to hotyoungdesignersclub.com and check out the blog.
The other thing I recently did was break out outdoor fabrics, because if you are sourcing for an outdoor project, which I recently was, you don't want to look through everything. And then if you are working on a kitchen bench, you could go dip into the indoor-outdoor stuff. But if you're only doing outdoor, you don't want to go through 5,000 linens. And windows
They
too.
are all the same. Yeah.
If things are window treatment only or shears, I've pulled those out too, because they're floppy as fuck and annoying in the mix, and you're never going to put those on a chair.
Where do they go?
In their own bin.
They have a little container for the...
Give us their own separate section in a bin.
What are they called? Floppy fabrics? What are we calling them?
I think like window or sheer.
Yeah, I have a sheer section that's just... Because they are all like that. They're all just kind of like gauzy and light. And it's
if you're looking
I have a bin that I put those in where you just lift the lid open. They just kind of lay in there because that's what they do. Like, and I just pull out the stack and
and there's not that many probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have seen other designers put them in like clear bins with lids that they're doing the same labeling process, and they have a ton on a huge thing of shelves, and they can pull those out. I think that could work too. I don't want to open a million things. Like I don't like to open and close things. So I just want to be able to like
open?
I just want to, when I'm like clicked into creative mode, I just want to like your library card.
You just want to flip through.
I just want to.
Yeah. Oh, because if it's, I mean, truly, this becomes a situation out of sight, out of mind in the library because it's just wild to keep track of stuff. And so, yeah, my bins of stuff, the bin life I tend to find in my studio because I don't really have cabinets. Bins are helpful to have for like tile, but I don't know if we're ready to shift to that topic, but we can. But bin life for tile is hard. Because you're just like tossing them in and they have a lot of weight and they build up really quick.
So heavy. Tiles are so annoying. They're so heavy.
And honestly, my thought process on this has, at first I wanted them to be much prettier, but I've realized as I've been in more tile showrooms and stuff like that, like there are some pretty solutions which involve a lot of mounting and cabinetry and all of that stuff.
And curation.
Yeah. And what I found instead, what works for me is I just have a section. I have those IKEA, like I have PAX units. I think you have PAX units too.
Yeah.
So what I found that works is like, I just use a bottom portion of one of those cabinets. So the weight isn't like up at the top, you know? And at the bottom of a section of one of them, I lean the tiles together. And then I usually put like bins or something in the center. And then I lean more tiles on the right side. So they're kind of tilted out. That way they're not all like leaning on each other constantly. But I have thought about having one of like the little like handy guys make me almost like a cookie sheet pan divide. Like, you know, you do in a kitchen, like a cookie sheet divider where they're vertical or something above a fridge or I'm thinking of
for
having dividers.
Tiles?
Well, the dividers more so I can split them up into like subgroups easier because right now it's just a big open cubby at the bottom of the PAX unit. And so they're just all in this like 3-foot wide space.
Are they in a drawer?
No, they're all like straight up and down. And so they're just like leaning on each other. And it just makes them a little unwieldy when imagine like a bookcase, you have to tilt all the books one way and the other, but these books weigh more than 5 pounds each. So it's like some dividers that go up and down would help me.
But isn't it like super deep?
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the side of the tiles when I do that. I'm not looking at them from front to back, which is it's a little annoying. I'm not going to say I have a perfect solution, but that's where the dividers would be helpful because the weight isn't shifting.
Yeah, but don't some like push back really far and then they'd get lost?
I mean, I don't have that many.
Okay.
Like they're not like, because that'll collapse the bottom of the cabinet.
Yeah, the PAX units cannot.
Let me put 400 pounds of tile on the bottom, and that poor little particle board is really screaming for its life down there.
No, the PAX units cannot hold weight. We have them for like our accessory stuff, but they are like groaning. Like I have to get somebody to come reinforce them.
Yeah, I should clarify. These are larger like floor tile pieces typically that I'm talking about. They're not like smaller backsplash pieces, or it's large format.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Mosaics I hate putting anywhere. Like they just end up in trays or they end up in a bin where it's all mosaics are together.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Bedrosians, actually, my rep got me some boards for collections that I like to look at a lot. When the Chloe was the it girl, like they had a board with all the Chloes.
It was like a mini board though, right?
Yeah, they have like a letter sheet size board-ish, and then they have some larger ones that are like 18 or 20 inches by 20, and they have handles on them, which those have been helpful. I will get those, but I will often then for presentations with clients request from my rep the smaller pieces if I'm using them, like an individual tile, so I don't have the whole board distracting them with like they don't need to see the whole collection of every color in that tile. So I get like a single. But when I'm sourcing, it's helpful because I was able to ask my reps like, hey, I'm looking at this collection, but I'm doing a transition from indoor to outdoor, so it has to be outdoor rated also. And then they're like, oh, hold on, I have one that's like that. So just having stuff that like helps get the conversation flowing, it's still nice to have a couple boards for tile like that.
Yeah, you told me about those. We have some. And the other, just on the Bedrosians topic, we now have a rep, which we didn't have before for a long time, and they will drop stuff off at our porch, which is amazing.
My rep will come to my office, but he also just sends me stuff. And then a few of my clients that are remote, I've just been asking him, can you send this directly to them? Like, if we're making a reselect for that, it's like, I'm not going to represent everything, or I just send them the sample.
Yeah, so we use drawers primarily. And again, we have more space. We have a couple islands that we've made out of IKEA section kitchen cabinets, and they're very shallow drawers, like they're 4-inch drawers or something, 4 by 24, so they're wide and shallow. Yeah, so those work the best for like really seeing stuff, but we just lay them in the shallow drawers, and some of them are a mess. Our fire clay ones we've organized, so those are pretty, and I even like printed out a photo of the perfect
the flat lay? Like how they should be organized and returned.
Yeah, I put them all in, took a photo, printed those out on oversized sheets, and then put them in like a mat on the underneath. So when you put them away, you put them all back.
You can batch them all up.
And then you know if you're missing.
Free samples. So
and they have little boxes that are nice too. Yeah, fire clay is really easy to work with. And
fire clay,
get all of their stuff.
I used to, like Walker Zangers around us, they'll usually send stuff.
Tile, I think, multi-line showrooms or like a tile store that you can get friendly with. Like we have one. That's like a really nice way to go.
Stuff. Yeah.
No, and they like
some do though. Doesn't Zia charge for samples? I feel like they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But those aren't. Zia does, Clay does.
Yeah.
But we don't have like that's all mail order for us.
Yeah.
But like I have a local tile showroom guy that I'll tell him like, hey, I need this size and matte dark blue. I don't know. And he'll run it down.
See,
and I can buy through him. We're not talking
about this a lot, but I feel like this is the part of that angle is like developing these relationships with these sources also are designed to make your life easier, and I don't lean on my reps enough, and I need to. Like, I really do need to
I do
say
too.
at the beginning, I don't need to suffer through finding it. I can literally write a laundry list to my reps of this is, as I'm conceptualizing the design, I can list out all that stuff and then send it to them to bring it back to me.
Yeah, because you can give them price points and like they know their lines so much better. And
Mhm.
through the tile showroom, I can also sometimes I'll buy it if it's enough quantity, but I can send my clients to him and they can just get service through him too. And if there's problems, like now he's helping them. So, or their
Okay.
contractor. So that's the easiest way, I think, to get a lot of different tile samples. But storing them, yeah, I don't know. I don't think either of us have a great solution because
Y'all, you drop your hints for us because I hate storing tile. I have boxes that
maybe
can
you
stack
don't
on
want
each
to. Like
other.
maybe you do just go source in a showroom and pull stuff that you need for specific projects. Like that's totally an option for that too, because they are unwieldy.
It's a lot.
And we
It's
try
a
to
lot.
go through like at least once a year and purge, but
I
tile,
just
we've had a
posted that.
lot.
I posted that GIF. I'm like thinking about how to reuse this stuff. Tile, I don't know what you do with it unless someone wants to pick up stuff to do mosaics or something.
They do. No, we posted on Facebook Marketplace and said these boxes are out back, gone the next day.
So
People
smart.
definitely want tile.
Like just
Like
remnants of stuff for little projects,
Yeah.
you think? Or
I think they do mosaic stuff with them.
oh, interesting. Okay, well, I'll you know what? I'll keep that in mind. Because I've been using fabric remnants as like packing material when I give gifts to clients.
Yeah,
recently.
that was really cute.
And like I just like pulled a bunch of them that I was going to be clearing out of the library. I have a little like reject box at my underneath like one of the trays where it's like, nah, I'm not going to do this.
Or
And
it's
I try to do that
discontinued.
as I'm or I look at it and I'm like, you know what? This was specifically for that project and I don't want to use it for anything else anymore or
Right.
keep it. And it's nice to use those to just like pack around things in the little gift basket I gave them. And I took all the tags off, like all the labels and stuff, so it looked clean, but it was fun. Like, and quilters, I feel like quilters and people would want stuff like that too, but I might be making that up.
No, we're going to have another warehouse sale in a couple weeks. And when we did it the last time, we had bins of fabrics and just Claire always wants to throw everything in the trash. And I like, this is one of our big fights all the time. And I just feel weird about throwing stuff in the garbage, not because I'm a hoarder and I want to keep it, but some stuff is just like, it's not meant for the landfill. Not that I'm like the world's largest environmentalist, but that feels weird. And then I know people like, I think it is like the ex-crafter in me. So when we had the last warehouse sale, yeah, people just take boxes of those little scraps. And like one woman she makes these like bunting flags for people. I don't know, like just
For
cute
like
stuff that I'm
kids'
like,
parties and stuff?
I think so.
Or like
I don't,
babies?
yeah. And it was like
Like
cute
congrats.
ideas. And they're like nice fabrics, So I wish that was easier to do without like don't get me wrong. I do not want to coordinate Facebook Marketplace pickups for a bunch of random
Oh my
shit
God, you make like a little garland of your favorite fabrics on a
Yeah.
Christmas tree.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Oh, influencer life. Because it could be like all my colors that I would want. Like I can pull them from my
And
fabric samples.
textures.
Ooh.
It could be really cute.
Bitch, don't dare me. Like
Like people could make really cute quilts, like for sure. So I wish there was a better drop. I know there's like
I know.
art kind of collective in town that we have dropped stuff off before that I think they do classes and stuff. Our intern, like we've tried to get him to take stuff to his school and
I know.
they don't want him. The professors don't want him.
I think a large part of it that we're overlooking here is that it takes a lot of time and energy to organize a library.
That was
So
the thing is it just becomes a mess.
Yeah, so I don't want to ignore that aspect of it. Like literally large firms have entire full-time people who manage the libraries and like getting stuff, cleaning stuff, getting rid of things. It's a very time-intensive effort. And I don't know. We should maybe switch to like plumbing and hardware and that kind of stuff because those I don't know. I find those easy once you're working with like trade reps. Cause like I think we saw a post where someone was like talking about rejuvenation. And it's like, yeah, but they're not the only hardware supplier. Like you could look at like a Ferguson showroom or other multi-line plumbing and bath showroom near you is probably going to show you the different lines. You could probably go through them to get that samples or go direct to the vendor.
I mean, those are definitely the trickiest, especially to sell and make money off of, I feel like.
Yeah. But you need
Hardware.
examples. Like you need a aged brass, a rough brass, whatever. Like
yes. So like Kohler, Delta, Brizo, California faucets, I think they have sampling chips that are pretty easy to get a hold of through. I think we've gotten some through Ferguson.
I think I bought my Kohler ones.
Oh, really?
I think I had to buy them.
I remember, I feel like a rep or some showroom gave them to us. We haven't talked about Material Bank, but they sell or they have Brizo and Delta.
I just know that they're getting it seems like every time I hear about it, there's a different emphasis on what they're trying to do and how they're signing people up or if they're signing people up. So it does feel like it's a little confusing. I've had my Material Bank account for a long time.
Like I was like one of the beta testers of it. So yeah. I have too. And I think not every account, like we could probably pull up our 2 accounts and not be able to get the same stuff. And it seems like not based on anything. Like Claire and I can't always get the same stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never compared with anyone else because I don't have anyone to look at. But I just find that they do have it's helpful to get ideas moving. I just feel like sometimes my challenge when I'm using Material Bank is it's sometimes changing very quickly, like who's sending it. Sometimes Material Bank is sending it. Sometimes the vendor is.
It tells you, though.
Can get like sometimes you can get something in 24 hours as you're like getting ready for a presentation. Sometimes it's a week. Like it's not crazy. It's just you need to think about where you're.
So just if you don't know what Material Bank is, it's a online sampling resource that is free for designers. They change what their account situation and how you can get one. I've heard a lot of designers can't get an account, and I don't know why. So take this with a grain of salt. But it started out mostly commercial items and materials.
Yeah.
And it's a way for brands to not have to manage their own samples. So I guess it was easier for them. But it's really great for paint. Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, and now they have Dunn Edwards, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ooh, I like Dunn Edwards.
Yeah. So and they ship, if you order by midnight, PST at least, is all I know, you'll get them the next morning.
Yeah, I usually get a FedEx. What I do like about the Sherwin-Williams ones is that they'll send the like larger paper size of a sample instead of just like a small chip or like my little flip book or something. And I do like that. I like that for clients. Those are helpful. And even for presentations where like it's a kitchen where you know that blue, like that color, like I picked a blue and that's going to be really dominant. Like I use it to play games during presentations too of remember this blue, I'm not painting a little bit of blue. Here's a big sheet of blue. You're going to have more of that to dominate the space. Like
right.
Imagine that. Don't think of it as this little tiny chip. Like I can mess with the size of the material samples to like fit how dominant,
like the proportion percentage of color.
Exactly.
Yeah. So check into Material Bank. They also have some tile now, like Doll Tile. They have some of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Clay. They have some. A lot of times
on there too.
Yeah, but not like extensive lines, I would say. But I always try.
Heavy hitters. Yeah.
And sometimes it'll say like 5 to 7 days from the brand directly, which that's what you were talking about. It might take a while. Otherwise, you'll get them the next day. Some fabrics, but mostly commercial grade, I would say.
Yeah, it still feels like a lot of commercial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do got to weed through a little bit. Just spend some time.
Yeah. Going back to hardware, sorry. MTech and Top Knobs are like 2 of the bigger companies. You can't open up an account as just a designer. You have to have a showroom and some sort of brick and mortar, and it's more of a program. So Top Knobs, we had to like prove ourselves. And then we had to buy these huge ass fucking 100-pound boards.
Yeah. I have 4 boards at mine.
Yeah, they have like
and I got to pick. Like they're okay. But I also don't. The weird thing about Top Knobs is like they do allow like a consumer to order a sample, and then I think you pay for the shipping or something like that. It's like $5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're basically buying a piece of hardware, but they're giving it at a loss. But then for me, we don't get that same, like as a dealer. But their trade-off is like, well, we're giving you really great fucking pricing. If you want a piece of hardware, buy a piece of hardware to show your client.
Sometimes you can ask the rep and you can get them for free. But I have had to like, okay, I don't need to like beg for $8 of stuff, like, and go back and forth. So if you can get an account, it's like 50% off. But if you can't, and most people probably can't, I couldn't if I wasn't sharing this office.
Yeah, if you didn't have an office space or a studio,
then there's other multi-line showrooms again, like Ferguson, or a local plumbing company probably has them. Mm-hmm. Same with MTech. Love MTech, but it took a really long time for us to get an account and find a rep, if it's our rep or what. But it's confusing. And then they had some ownership changes and some complications, I think, on their corporate side. So, but now it's great. Like I did a whole house and was able to buy it all at a wholesale price, which made a difference, So, but if you're only doing like a few knobs here and there, then it's not really worth it. And I would just get a sample, like you're saying, of your favorite knob in a couple colors.
I just have a pull-out tray. It's a really on the PAX unit. I think it's meant for like jewelry or shallow things, like accessories. Same. And I just pull that out, and it's I have them set so each little tiny tray pulls out with enough room that I can leave all the like chips of metals and finishes in there.
For MTech.
Like I lay them flat, and if it's hardware, I lay
MTech has the finished sample rings. I don't know. We used to have a code for it.
Oh my God. Can we talk about sample rings? Can we talk about the rings themselves for a second? Some of them really piss me off. I know vendors are doing it to be all cute and whatever. Like the ones where you have to like solve a freaking brain puzzle to get like lift here, twist it, bop it, cut,
like
and then you have to and you're just like, oh my God, like give me the thing off this ring. And so I actually changed most of my rings to, they're like steel cables
wire
that twist. They have like a little twist to like a screw together end.
Those
so that way,
are annoying too,
when I'm flipping through a ring deck, I can now move the unscrewing part, the like end where I'm actually pulling one out. Instead of some of the rings it's like a keychain. You have to pull them all off to get one. And when it's like, I love Hudson Valley Lighting, but they do have dozens of finishes for their lighting and stuff. So I have all these metal chips, and it's like 30 thick on the ring. Like I broke mine down by using those little cables. So
and
that
you
way
could
now
probably
I have like
just have your favorites,
black,
because honestly,
brass, silvers, whatever. Like there's a lot of junk in there. I know.
Yeah. So, okay. So hardware, if you can't open an account, then you should just order some favorites and you have them to show clients and colors or whatever. Lighting is sort of the same deal. It's hard to get lighting finishes. Some companies do it, some don't. Like I can't get a visual comfort one.
They're kind of wild now.
Do you have any other samples? Finished samples? I've never seen them.
Of what? Of visual comfort?
Yeah, visual comfort finished samples.
I had a rep send me just the brass. Just because that's typically what I pull from. So it's just like a chip of but it's an antique brass. And like sometimes if I can't find it, because it's like my only one, I also have the Waterworks finish set from plumbing and their aged brass. Like I've made sure to like handle the chip and like get oil on it, move it around, rub it. Like it looks more aged now. So I'll sometimes just pull that one and tell the client, like, it's this light fixture. It's going to end up looking like this finish.
Yeah, I do that too. Especially like
they don't need to
too.
See, like wood, if it's oak. Like I have some white oak. I've also bought just like I have some flooring. Wood. Oh God.
Yeah, we've done
wood. God.
Yeah, let's not go into that yet. Yeah, Hudson Valley definitely has finish rings. They have their Troy ring and their Hudson Valley ring, and I don't know if I have a Mitzi one, but it's nice too to show like the difference of quality of brass. Like if a client's like, "Why is this $1,000?" I'm like, "That's not that much," and here's why.
Also, to explain, I do think there's something to explain to clients of this company is making this out of solid brass.
Right.
This is being made out of plated aluminum, or, like, hey, there's a very thin layer of brass on this, and underneath it, there's no more brass. So if you scratch through it, it's ruined. And a lot of people won't understand that when they look at,
and maybe in your laundry room, on a flush mount sconce, it doesn't, or fixture, it doesn't
You're never
matter.
gonna get close enough to see it. So,
but like our dining room showstopper, let's like upgrade.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, and then a lot of like specialty lighting companies will do chips blueprint, or you can get all their colors.
Yeah.
Dutton Brown, you can get their colors. That wood is the worst. Like we're talking about flooring or like.
But anything. It's all, because same thing with like tile. If you're getting wood flooring, then you have these big, usually larger samples, which if it's something you're going to use a lot, like I have a couple versions of white oak stuff, so I can show the variation. And if we're going to do something custom for cabinetry, I will reference clients. This is a direction I'm heading. This is not the exact finish. And most of the time they're fine.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Material Bank, you can get some random wood samples.
Walnut. Like I have the Lawson Fenning set, which I paid for, but I like their finishes. I find the woods are accurate. I've sourced from their stuff. So sometimes if you're working with a vendor, the reps can also get sets to you. Like Noir you can get that stuff. Even Four Hands now has some limited sampling. So
Four Hands now has its own website that you order samples from, but they're about 20% in stock. So
I know.
What you're looking
They're
for.
They're trying. I know. It's a big undertaking. Like that's the thing I don't think a lot of designers know. Is like sampling is really wild logistically to just manage, track, have them, organize them. But it's also something that like Business of Home on their podcast, like Fred and Dennis have talked about how fabric vendors and other people talk about how much money gets just like dumped into it. And it's like one of their most expensive like marketing channels because that's essentially what it's for.
Okay, but on the flip side, how many companies do you source from that you cannot get samples from?
Oh, zero. Like if I can't go see it and or have a sample, I don't look at it.
Or I haven't seen it, or I can't really trust their photography, then it's out. Like I'm not
unless
selling
I'm doing like redesign only where it's retail sourcing for a client, because then that's not up to me. Like, hey, I'm basing off what I see online too.
But even in West Elm or Pottery Barn, you can get swatches from.
And I've seen their stuff.
Right.
Like,
and
I know
we're
what
not
I know
responsible
in general.
And they can return it.
Yeah, if they're buying it and they don't like, that brass looks gross when I open the box, take it back. Okay, take it back.
They can return it, where our stuff we can't. So, yes, I understand sampling is complicated for vendors, but it's also the only way for us to sell what we do. So,
I agree.
Yeah, a lot of vendors you can ask. So, I don't know. There's a lot of like case good vendors that you might have to buy them. I mean, so there's definitely a percentage that we have to buy. Like we just got a Fairfield starter kit for Fairfield chair, and it was a few $100s to get like their big rings of all their fabrics and finishes.
Okay.
But now I might actually source it, or I'm going to place an order. So otherwise, like I don't know what I'm looking at on the website, especially if I'm just looking at like a little tiny square. It makes a big difference.
It does.
We don't have to totally get into like upholstery lines, but that is one of the benefits of investing and educating yourself in one or two lines, semi-custom upholstery makers.
Yes.
Like we sell Norwalk, Fairfield chairs one, Rose one. You can then also feel comfortable if you do have to buy their swatch collections, which you typically do for those, because they give you hundreds. So you're kind of investing in a lot of ways, but then you need to invest in your education for them too, because it's a lot to learn on how to sell it to clients, but also how to buy it and all the idiosyncrasies and
right. Like I've had Lee Industries like furniture for projects, but I purchased it through a dealer because I don't have everything and I don't know all their stuff. And they helped me put the order together and organize it. But they are the ones who had to like invest in everything and like getting all the chips,
then I'm
getting all the
fine.
fabric,
And then that
getting
makes me
everything.
feel fine about getting less of a percentage because I'm not putting as much work into it
Correct.
and leaning on somebody else. So obviously they need to get part of that sale. So
I agree.
okay, what else?
Like what else do we materials wise? Oh my god, hangers. Always clip hangers. Like
What about
I use those like retail like pant clip. They're nice. They're white. I'll show you guys later. But I like clip the rug that they're like 18 by 18 rug samples and I like clip them on the hangers and then my PAX units have like a closet rod in them and I hang them.
So our vendor or our rep gives us hangers.
From where?
Jaipur.
Your Jaipur rep sends you hangers?
Uh-huh.
I'm like
I don't think we pay for them. And they're 4 clips.
I am aghast.
And they have 4 clips, which is like a game changer because the 2 clips like...
Okay, you guys are at a very specific dealer pricing. So don't, you guys,
Maybe.
If you're listening, hotties, don't go crazy. Because Rebecca, your pricing tier through Happy Hour Design Collective is different. I'm not saying I couldn't get hangers. I'm just saying
possibly.
Everybody, you might want to gently ask, but don't assume that they're just like not giving them to you.
But also you might be able to buy them. Like even if they're not giving them to you, they have them. So
they might have like a wholesale pricing. Like, hey, I have 100. Yeah. Like maybe,
you can get a rack. Like they have like those little standing racks that you can buy. Like they have all kinds of different display stuff. So rugs, like we're pretty like hard into Jaipur. Some Saria. Laloy, I just have never been able to get great pricing.
I feel like
I'm going to re-explore that.
Hard because a lot of times so much of it is retail based that it's not like there are other collections like if you were looking at like Carrier and Co or something like there may be a little bit more you can work with on those.
I think that's what it is. If it doesn't have map pricing, there are some of their collection. Jaipur has it too. That there are some collections where it's just the Wild West and they're trying to control the online sellers and how they
can't do that.
It's like sometimes it's a consumer can buy it for much less than I can with shipping. So, but Jaipur is one of those that you can kind of focus on and keep getting better and better pricing. Like the best thing about
my rep will send free samples too. Like,
yeah, especially around market. They'll have like market specials where you can get free swatches. But like the more you sell, then you get up in a tier and you get better pricing. So that's why it is good if you can find brands and vendors that you love that you can just really like focus on because you just get better service and cut price. Yeah. But rugs are huge. We had a little bit of a moth situation recently.
Like you guys got infested? Or?
Yeah. Another designer friend just told me this happened to her too. Or I was at her studio and she's like, we got all of these moths. I'm like, you know what they are. They're the freaking naturals, mostly, is what they come in on. So watch your natural samples. If you ever see any like residue that almost looks like black sand, those are moth eggs.
Ew.
Nar, yeah. I found a spray.
You said nar. Nar.
It's so gnarly and gross.
Ew.
I found this spray at Ace that you can get that's helping.
Is it like not non-toxic for humans or like what's the dealio on?
It's not non-toxic. It doesn't really smell though.
It's not non-toxic, but it's not.
It says like wear gloves and stuff, which I just wash my hands. I don't know. It doesn't seem toxic. But like you do not want those moths. Like if you take them home, like you're going to fuck up your whole wardrobe.
Like when I see moths in my house, I go after them harder than like a housefly because I'm like, not my draperies. Like,
yeah, no, it's problematic. I think they come in on
sofa.
I think they come in on the shipping containers. So
is that a conspiracy theory or is that true? Wait, the shipping aren't moths just everywhere? Or you're saying they're
I think
on
they
the samples? Oh, yeah, they just grow while they're coming over because there's humidity and okay, so what I'm hearing is it's like bed bugs and we need to isolate our samples for a while.
We threw
Because
them
you
away.
could put them in bags.
Yeah, you could do that.
But if you really wanted to save it or you just get a new one, I don't want to encourage waste, but sometimes.
No, it got like our rep came and she's like, you got to get rid of all these. So,
okay.
Yeah. Love Jaipur. They have the whole gamut of price points. So if you want to start with a rug company, they have pretty good service, pretty great pricing, great collections. They have everything indoor, outdoor, like polyester cheapies to like high end, hand knotted, beautiful. And they're always updating but they only show at High Point, I believe now.
Yeah.
And they're pretty easy to get an account.
A lot of them. Yeah. Like I think I've had a pretty consistent amount in my library, but I do have to go through them still. But I don't know. I kind of go crazy at market and then I regret it later because rugs are also a thing that I like to use unique for every project that I don't necessarily. I have some that I could change a color, but like I don't necessarily want to draw attention to the same. I want them to feel like they were special for that space. So,
but sometimes like you could do the runner version
or change the colorway and yeah.
Yeah, and Jaipur, I haven't done this, but if you have the time, they have a lot of customization now, and you can take a amazing hand knotted rug and create a completely different colorway. Like you can almost like paint by numbers on their website, and you can get a box of the tufts for your sampling library. If
like
you
all
do
the
this.
yarns you're talking about when they ship the yarns.
And they're cute little like mounds.
I do actually really like those little like pom-pom, like little like wrapped yarn pom-poms. Like Armadillo and other companies will send those to you if you do custom colorways.
Yeah.
They're cute.
And as far as storing them, like we have 4 giant boxes full of hangers and rugs. So I don't have any good advice.
Like mine just are on those like wardrobe rods where they just hang like a closet. That's why the pack system is kind of my MVP because I can count on it to be able to like hold all of those. And I made like little like divider. I had them laminated at, I don't know, FedEx, because it's not Kinko's anymore. I'm old. But they're like 18 by, I don't know, 11 by 17s actually. I think that, you know what? They are 11 by 17s because they're the same size as my like tabloid size drawings that I print.
Okay.
But I had them laminated and I had them branded. They're colored and they hang in between the different sets. So it hangs like an edge hangs out that says naturals, hand woven, power loom. Like they're all categorized. So they're not by color. I have them by how they're made.
That's how ours are too.
Because it helps me with pricing too. Yeah. Like my naturals and the power loom stuff is always going to be at the lower end of the level. And then the hand loom stuff is going to be at the higher end.
For sure. Yeah. Like I've had people in the showroom or sometimes clients like want to dig through. I'm like, okay, don't even look here unless you're really wanting to invest because you will fall in love with the hand knotted. It's so much better.
I've shown clients during meetings, where I'm like, this one's in your price point. This sample looks like that. This is a hand woven sample. What do you want? And they're like, oh. And same thing with hardware, like picking up a piece of like solid metal hardware, way different experience than hollow Home Depot stuff,
I've definitely upsold into hand knotted because it's such a clear quality difference. And people realize like this is actually an heirloom piece.
Like I won't need to buy this again.
And I can get it cleaned and it's not going to fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll link my little moth spray. I've had a hard time finding it online. Like you can only buy it by the case on Amazon, which maybe it's not a bad idea.
Is this like toxic, like should not ship to California kind of vibe? Or like what is, I'm worried.
Well, I'm not saying to drink it.
Okay.
Like
that's
wear your proper
like the
PPE.
Prop 65 lead warnings on everything. And then people are like, I heard a salesperson where someone was like, why does this toy have lead in it? And I'm like, do you think this cashier at TJ Maxx made this toy?
Oh my God.
And also the woman said, well, I don't know if it's that much of a concern if you're not eating it. She was like over it.
Yeah,
She's
like
right, of
call
course.
someone
But like,
else.
what are you doing? Burning this and like smoking it? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. And you're at a
Anyway.
discount. So it's called SLA spray. It's cedar scented for quick, immediate protection. It kills moths, carpet beetles, silverfish, bed bugs, lice, and their eggs. Blech.
Ew.
No unpleasant odor. Water-based formula protects for up to 3 months. Seeks out
Okay.
bugs where they hide.
We will link it.
So yeah, link in bio. But link in show notes. But Ace Hardware, they always have the quirky stuff, at least here. I don't know about other states.
Our Aces usually like will have like better options. Yeah.
Like, I mean, we have other accounts, like we have window treatments with Graber. Like that's like kind of a whole another thing that.
But that just falls into that same like you're zeroing in on a line. You're gonna have like woven shade samples or stuff like that too.
I guess we talked about paint a little bit, but paint is another huge, like we do get it from Material Bank for individual samples, but you can get the full like kit and caboodle from Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore. Like you can get their sampling libraries.
Yeah.
So like the Sherwin-Williams one, my favorite one is like little binders that are 5x7 size. But then we also have some that are smaller that I have like they come in a carrier bag. So I actually keep that in my car sometimes and have it on consultations. Yeah. So Sherwin-Williams, I feel like in my experience has had the most extensive program. You can get a lot of different kinds of sizes of their things. And if you don't have Material Bank, you can also get their 8x10s now on their website, I believe.
Yes. I pull a lot of Sherwin-Williams. I use a lot of Dunn Edwards. Benjamin Moore has a massive like all the colors. Like they have like these big black
we finally
they're
got
huge
them.
bins with like big carriers and there's like
I just
8
don't
fan
like
decks in a
it.
container. I have like I feel like it's like 20 decks.
Because they have all these like secondary collections and
exactly. But I do find that when I'm looking for a very specific color, I will often find it through Benjamin Moore and not through Sherwin-Williams. Like I could probably get there with Sherwin-Williams, but like I can find that exact color sooner, usually with my Benjamin Moore sets, than I can with others.
You're right. I have a little bit of a block around Benjamin Moore because I don't like those fan decks. And I like the Sherwin-Williams, that booklet they have with the little tiny swatches.
I know.
And you can like really like hone in on what hue you're going for, and then it references to the books.
I feel like, yes, making it accessible is something we shouldn't ignore.
But also like don't limit yourself.
Yeah. I find a lot of stuff through them that I really enjoy. So that's why I'm saying like I think they have some really great colors. I don't want to ignore them, but Sherwin-Williams does a lot of outreach locally. And so that may be skewing me a little bit, is that I do hear from them often, and they have events, and it reminds me to keep checking out what they're doing, I guess.
And a lot of contractors I don't think like to use Benjamin Moore as much because they're independently owned showrooms now. I don't really know how it works.
I know. I hate talking with contractors about that stuff because they try to color match, and then I'm like, no, this isn't it's literally not the color. I know you color match this. Like, no exceptions. Like, no color match allowed. Unless approved.
And then Farrow and Ball, like speaking of color match, I've had mixed success with color matching Farrow and Ball, but you can get their stuff, but you have to pay for it, or go to an event like Haven and like a full library of like the 8x10 binder, all the fan decks of like archive colors and their new ones. The binder's great. And then they also have those little paper swatch things that are really easy to get.
Yeah.
But the best bet for them is to find your local regional showroom. I'm assuming if you don't have one nearby, that you're assigned probably a showroom. Like ours is in Berkeley.
Oh yeah, like just a regional one, yeah.
But they came and did a lunch and learn for happy hour a year or two ago and brought us all decks and stuff. So they have a great program, and I know they're trying to build their designer program even more. So, and you do need some education to go with it because it's not just, it's more of a system.
It's
like they want you to use the primer, the color.
Lime wash is similar. I have the lime wash sets from Portola. I like them. I had to buy those because they're like more small scale.
They're like a postage stamp.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing. Like, what's my other option? Get a can? Like, I feel like between referring it to in photos and like showing people, and I also have the Roman clay ones. I don't know. They're like 2x2s. They are small. I won't lie, but like
you can't see the texture. Helps. You can see the color.
Yeah, you can see the color. You're right. You still have to show them. Like I have to show. Here's what lime wash looks like.
Claire's assistant was just here looking for, I guess they had their painter who applies it, make some large, like 3x4 feet or something. And he like made samples on drywall for them.
Like he bought like a gallon of all of them, I guess? Because they don't make samples usually, right?
I don't know how they did it. But they had boards made, so they have samples, but then I think they got thrown away. I don't know. There's a little bit of a drama
here. That's for like a whole home thing they're working on, right?
So I think so.
Sense, right? Like if you're going to do like hundreds of square feet in a certain finish, like
or just like a luxury house where you would do that kind of sampling for them.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
The only other thing I just wanted to say is like a lot of manufacturers of like case goods or coffee tables, forehands, like you said, have some finishes. It's definitely hit or miss, and most others don't. Like it is kind of hard to get finishes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like Vanguard and Bernhardt, you can get accounts and they have ways of getting you samples.
And Norwalk has their finishes, but that's upholstery.
Like, and that's like a whole like commitment.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, I think it's the furniture finishes of it all. There are a little couple bets, which is why it's also helpful for, again, going to market. So you can have photos and videos of finishes and show them to a client. Get familiar with each brand's finishes so you can be more confident in the sales process of like, this photo is accurate. This is what you're going to get. Like,
and again, lean on your rep. Like I had one like show me photos he had of a piece that he actually ended up having it at home, and he took a picture for me. Like they'll help. Like, or if they're at a showroom that you don't have access to, like they might be able to grab photos or have the showroom manager send them something. I don't know. Like just let them be creative.
Let them figure it out.
Yeah, let them help you.
Okay, I'm with it.
That was a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And not even all of it, but
oh my God, we're not even done. I already committed to writing a blog post, and we're going to take pictures and videos and share them with people too. So stay tuned, y'all. Follow us on Instagram. I think we're going to have to put some stuff in carousels of like just like the real quick and dirty of what our studios look like as we're organizing. No, you got to show them the real. We need to show them like, here's some pictures of the fabrics this is what I'm doing. I think we should really like.
We're due for a massive clean out though. And so
I think we should show some pictures of like the rug storage, the fabrics, the tile stuff. Like we should show the big hitters because that stuff just doesn't convey the same way. So
I think the bottom line is it's really hard for it to be pretty and organized unless you have a library manager.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
We do have an intern that comes once a week, and we have a go back basket and little file that he will put stuff away, which is really helpful. So that's something to consider as well. Okay. I think we did it. Good luck, guys. You got this.
And until next time,
stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.